The reason I chose to do a load-bearing arch and to be constructed in traditional fashion is because we are working in a building that was built traditionally out of the original materials that existed before the days of concrete. So logically, if you want to restore a building and conserve it to reflect the past, it is automatically quite prudent and quite innovative in this sense to revert to the original construction methodology.
And then here up, we put one piece, not here, but on the top. To cut directly straight line on the top, we don't need to build any scaffolding. You need just to arrive here, keep this wall, open here the impost line where the new bricks will going to sit, and cut something like this. And then here we have the new arches. And then you just close again this. So don't need to remove this until you don't finish the arch. To do the arches, normally you need the work form following the exactly shape of arch. Means in this case would be semicircular. One of the first things of arches is to understand how the nucleus, the heart of power of arch, which is creating in an arch, is working. Normally, following the shape, the nuclear inertia, following the shape of arch until 30 degrees. After this one, after 30 degrees, power of arch is just extend inside to the wall.
So what we're looking at here seems to be an exaggerated effort, right, on my part as a designer, but actually it's not. It's actually respecting the past, respecting the materials that were used in this building, respecting the design traditions, right? So in fact, it helps us to go back to start to understand that the traditional way of building has always worked. And it's that only the advent of cement and concrete was used in the 20th century, and then subsequently it became part of the local knowledge of builders. So, trying to be true to the tradition, I decided I would attempt to build an arch in reverse. Right? Normally you would build the arch from bottom up. In this case, I already had a wall, and I needed to punch through it. So therein lay the challenge. But because I worked with Giovanni in other projects, he said, no, we do it the traditional way. And that's how we landed on doing the arch and building it traditionally, all in brickwork. And so working with Giovanni in this wasn't a challenge. In fact, it was a challenge getting the local contractor to believe that we could do it. So after we went through the process and we completed the first arch, then they started to build belief. And as time went on, we went to the second one and the third one. And then by that time, they were really convinced, yes, a traditional arch could be built out of brick, and it could be load-bearing, and it could be self-supporting. With climate change, obviously everybody talks about heat transfer, seawater rising, the world getting hotter. Do you know that when you put a brick arch next to a concrete arch and plaster it over, one with lime plaster, the other one with cement, you expose it to the sun, the cement wall is 3 degrees higher. And that means that other arm of the whole experimentation here was to actually be responsible and make sure that the buildings are adapted to be responsive to climate change. If you have a traditional building and you want to conserve or restore it, isn't it obvious that you do it using methods and techniques that were done before? If you look at the whole idea of conservation, the idea of Georgetown as a World Heritage Site, what is central to all of that is the conservation of traditions. It's the conservation of the built heritage, what was done in the past, which you have inherited today. Inherited traditional materials and techniques which have been used for thousands of years. And what we are doing now is just happened in the 20th century.
Down, down, down.
The spirit of place starts with the articulation of the heritage values through the conservation process itself. If, for example, what I did to the building was modernized it, then the heritage values are already lost. Once the heritage values are lost, the spirit is lost. And so that part of it is very intrinsic in the whole idea of conservation, but very seldom thought about by people who buy and try and conserve shop houses or buildings in Penang.